another 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
So we are about 12 of us. We can start, Sagar. I'll keep admitting whoever comes here. Please start off.
Okay. Dinakar, would you want to project the slide?
Yeah. So let us start with a small introduction about what Sit Chat is all about, and then
Yes.
we can get into the topic. Yeah. Yeah. Please go on.
Okay. Good evening, all. My name is Sagar Modgal, and I am as a business in HR profession, especially for recruiting in manufacturing firms. That's what I do. Now, SIT, Startup Ignition Team. This is a noble cause that was founded by Manoj Kabre, Lakshmikant, and our late Rotarian Ananta Bhatta. This started way back with the intention to help entrepreneurs live their drive. And we wanted to provide an ecosystem wherein we have got an ecosystem to help somebody who wanted any kind of help in business, be it funds, be it knowledge, mentoring, coaching, all those things. This is what SIT is all about, providing that platform for entrepreneurs. In that context, Sit Chat. This is an initiative that's a brainchild of Mr. Dinakar, and now this is our 58th episode non-stop. So over an year is what we've been doing. Every Thursday we do this. What do? We call an expert, just like how we have called an expert today, Madam Archana Vijayan. They come, they discuss about their business, their expertise, and later, a part of the meeting, we've got a discussion from the audience that is available. Now, while the expert is sharing her or his expertise, you are requested to exercise your own discretion for availing their services or referring or recommending their services. With that, I welcome Archana Vijayan, a seasoned HR professional, to take over here. And please, madam, let us know what is all that you've got to share with us for the next half an hour. The stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sagar, and good evening to everybody. It's really an honor. I'm too young in terms of age, in terms of experience, but whatever I have gathered uh, over the years, I would like to share it with everyone. And I guess for me, it's more of a learning experience rather than sharing my expertise as such at this point of time. Um, what you see on the slide is the name of our company. We call it as RV Achievers. It started by my husband, and I'm a co-founder. It's called as RV Achievers. So our motto is that we help companies grow, help them achieve their goals. And how we do that is definitely through strategic consulting or through HR consulting, through management consulting. And if we go straight onto the topic which I would like to discuss, HR has been very close to me in terms of my passion, in terms of my learnings, in terms of my experience. So my journey for HR started in 2004, where I got an opportunity to work for a search firm, which was a boutique firm into headhunting and executive search. So talent management and talent acquisition, close to now 20 years. It's been in the executive search space, and then it evolved over a period of time. And even I grew when we started this company in 2015 with the idea that entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, boutique firms, uh, they need some expertise or some guidance, if I can say so, and we could help facilitate under one umbrella. So that was the reason why this company got into existence, and it's been going to be 10 years next year in 2025. So it's been an excellent journey. And whatever I'm sharing with everyone is more of a practical experience, what I have seen, witnessed, had success stories with clients that we are working with, stakeholders that we are working. We've been working with Indian companies, with multinational companies, with startups. And the experience have been different, very good experience, very exciting. And we are in the dynamic space. So when Sagar spoke to me, I thought this would be the most relevant topic because HR is definitely going a 360 change, if I can say so. And it's been there in the newspaper. Even today, there is an article on the CXO at Economic Times. So I guess this is the most relevant topic.
Yeah, well, just one second, Archana. Vineet,
Yes.
would you like to go to the presentation mode? I think it's the bottom rightmost icon. Yeah, correct. That one. Yes. Super. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great. And my discussion, I would like to keep it as minimum, and I would like to have more questions. And they say it's a chat, so let's connect more, speak more, talk, share. I think so. That is the method I would like to use for today's program, today's session. Now, some facts and figures which are there on the screen, about global entrepreneur activities which are happening globally, uh, talking about the leaders. So I think so. These are some facts that has been gathered from social media. But if I just want to highlight one of the things which, as a country in India, that we should be really very proud of is the number of unicorns that are coming up in India. There are many female, I can say women entrepreneurs who are coming in the market. More and more women leaders are taking up on the board meetings. I want to see that figure much high than the Western world. So I think so we are at the right space at the right place, but I'm sure there's a lot to go. But this forum is really excellent. I'm sure we'll do great if we are together. Now, this is one of the slide. I want to keep it static for some time. So before we jump into future of HR, my experiences with working with entrepreneurs, with startups, and growing companies, what I have seen is most of the time it is the promoter, the partners, the co-founders actually doing a lot of activities which ideally should be with the HR professional or with human resources. So that shift, I feel that is very important. If you have a team size which is good, doing good business, then getting an HR, professional on board would be a very good idea. According to me, if the team size goes more than 15 to 20 in your company, I think so having an HR professional is really very important. Having said that, if immediately that is not possible, then certain HR skills or HR basic fundamentals, the entrepreneur or the promoter should definitely get skilled or should have a mentor or a full-time coach in his organization, because I feel HR plays a very important role. And the reason I want to say this is today we are working with all the generations. So in the same organization, from baby boomers to XYZ generation to even today, even the alpha generation is doing very well. So I guess more and more, keeping that in mind, HR definitely should be one of the most important professional in the organization as early as possible for any company that comes into existence. And rest of the points that I have mentioned on the slides, we will also take some questions so we can deep dive if time permits. But the role of an HR, what we have seen over the past few years, we now call as HR business partner. So HR truly is a business partner, but HR also need to understand that we need to have more of strategic HR in our organization. what I have seen with my experience is that it is more on the operational side, or more in the execution part of it, or more into admin related activities, where HR strategic should actually be at the forefront. There has to be a lot of strategizing, a lot of forecasting, a lot of planning, which is required by the HR professional, by the HR leader, or by the HR manager. He or she should be responsible from day one to put the right policy, to put the right culture, uh, have complete transparency in the organization. And one thing that I can suggest is that once all of this is in place, getting an HR audit will definitely help that the organization is on the right path, and all the policies, all the processes are in place. And rest of the things, it's been there for a very long time, be it getting the right people on board, your statutory compliances. Uh, I think so that is there in the present before we move to the future of HR. But this slide is very, very important. I always say that our basic fundamentals, our knowledge of HR has to be 360-degree. It is not purely theoretical. Uh, we have a degree, we have an MBA, we have studied abroad, we have traveled abroad, with due respect. But the basic fundamentals of HR is very, very important on the practical level, at the ground level, at the employee level. So that is very, very important. I'll hold on to this slide. If we have any immediate questions to be addressed, I don't mind taking one or two questions.
Archana, see there you've written CTC benchmarking. Could you throw some light on that CTC benchmarking?
Yeah, definitely. So CTC benchmarking again plays a very important role. One of the challenges that as an entrepreneur or a startup they face is attracting the right talent, or attracting the potential talent. So somewhere we need to know what is the compensation based as per the industry, based as per the sector, based as per the function. So if we have some benchmark here, when I say benchmark, we are definitely not comparing that whether it's a tier 1 or tier 2. We are purely talking about skill based competency. And CTC, there are a lot of components today which are applicable, right? So if we have knowledge that, okay, fine, for an X function, this is the rate or the charges or the fees which are applicable, because today there are many people who are also HR consultants, right? Or they are freelancers, or they are working in a hybrid model, or they are interior, people who are on their way. So I guess if we have those benchmark, uh, you can create an elevator pitch for your organization. You can talk about the benefits which you get. Many a times I have seen with my experience, whether at the top or at the bottom of the pyramid, it's not about compensation. There are a lot of other reasons why people are moving or are looking to join an organization. So if we have those benchmark, not purely in terms of CTC, in terms of benefits, in terms of future, in terms of future career growth, I would include all that in CTC. If that is clear, our elevator pitch, our company vision, mission becomes more and more stronger.
Okay, though I have further questions to that, there are Mr. Dinakar has raised his hand, and we have one question from Hisham. I'll take a question from Hisham later, but yes, Dinakar, please go ahead.
Yeah, so my question is the following, Archana.
Yeah.
See, if you look at the startup,
Right.
Startup is something where you are trying to achieve a breakthrough and a disruption in the market. Now,
Right.
you can talk about startups as companies which are building trading business also. But
Right.
I would consider a startup where they're trying to find a disruptive solution to a problem in the market. Okay. So if you consider that as a startup, so many of these things may not really apply there, because
Right.
the guys are required to really work crazy,
Right.
13, 14, 15 hours a day.
Right.
Otherwise, you can't really get the product in the market. The timelines are very, very short. And the second is they have to be very, very dedicated, involved. So many of these things, what you listed out here, it seems to be more suitable for a normal company.
Right.
How does it work in the case of a startup? Because the startups that I am associated with, for them, the day is easily 14 hours. If something is told today, tomorrow, day after, it has to be done. And the employees also are equally excited because they also see that they are doing something, what should I say, which could be a game changer, which could be something which is phenomenal. Therefore, that commitment is there.
Yes, I agree. But having said that, when you say for 14 hours a day or 12 hours a day, the question mark is how much you can continue in that particular mode, for how long you can continue, because you absolutely need to be having complete focus in terms of your physical health and mental health. Uh, there cannot be a time where you are burning out. So
See,
there are
Archana, I am now 60 years old.
right,
Even today, at least 3 days in a week, my day is 14 hours. Okay.
right,
So that doesn't really, body has a phenomenal amount of strength. It's not about
right,
the strength and fatigue, and it's all about passion. It's all
right,
about your desire to do something and contribute something in that space. And that's what keeps you driving. And there have been, when in my corporate life, I've had weeks which ran for 80 hours, 75 to 80 hours for 5 years, 6 years, like that. And the other day, Amar was telling that his life has been the same, 15 to 16 hours a day working. So this perception that you're going to have a burnout is basically because you're trying to do something which you don't like, or you're
Yeah,
trying to
Dinakar,
fit into a. So my only question is, these factors what you have listed out, they seem to be more suitable for larger companies. How does it work in the case of a startup? But that's a question which I had.
yeah, no.
yeah,
So
Archana,
I
before you
agree with
answer,
you. When we talk about passion, there's nothing that can take away your passion. It's not about 14 hours, 16 hours, 18 hours. You can definitely work. But the way I look at it is, you are doing it out of passion. But have you thought about creating a team, creating leaders, upskilling, cross-selling? If your hands are full, are we getting collaborations done? Are we growing organically? Are we expanding? So I think so. These are some areas also that is important, that needs to be looked up. I mean, say if I'm only doing it, it's my passion, but can I translate or transform this passion to someone in the team as well? I think so. That is a much, much, much larger victory, if you ask me. That's the way I look at it personally.
No, when I said I also meant my team. Okay.
Yeah,
Because see, once
absolutely.
you create a purpose, there is no end. People are going to just be there.
Yes,
And no, I don't want to get into that space. Okay. So we'll talk about that later, but please continue.
yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
yeah,
sure, definitely.
Archana,
I appreciate what you're saying. It's just the way your point of view is. Now you are talking about your 18 hours and 16 hours. I have been interviewing people for some positions that we are working in the space of accounts and chartered accountant. And when we are talking about people to travel 1 hour from their residence, they are not taking up jobs. They are not even willing to spend 1 hour on local trains or on transport. So there is a generation out there who are not willing to even travel. Work is, I mean, so that even does not come when we are interviewing candidates. So when we are, as human, I guess we all have a purpose. We all have our own passion. So we can leave it for that space. But for me, if I look from the HR perspective, I think so. HR should definitely look at creating leaders. Entrepreneurs should look at creating leaders, creating an ecosystem within a company that even if you are away from office, you are traveling, the show has to go on. The companies should not run by designations. The company
Okay,
should run by processes.
Archana, sorry to intervene. See, just to answer very quickly to what Dinakar pointed out, Dinakar, you're definitely right. For a startup, till you have a sizable one to actually have an
Yes.
HR, you need not have to handle this as an internal thing. You always
Right.
have HR partners outside, like Archana, or for example, recruitments. They don't have to handle it. They can just outsource it. Compliances, HR policies, all that for a startup, if it is required. See,
Yes.
startups run in a very frugal way. So all this that is listed on the board here need not be applicable to every company here. The startups, as they grow, they are going to take this.
Right.
So,
Okay.
Sagar, just to put fuel to the fire, I feel companies and services like Archana's are the deterrents to startups. See, in a startup, the CEO is the HR. You cannot have another HR at all. The CEO is the HR, the COO is the HR, CTO is the HR. Moment they think of outsourcing HR, the spirit and the soul of the startup is gone. Is already sold out.
Dinakar,
So because that's the time when you create a culture, that's the time when you create a passion in the team, right? That passion cannot be created by an outsider. The direct leader is the one who is supposed to do that. Unfortunately, because companies have not been able to do that, there is an HR. See, if you traditionally see, HR always has tried to be an enabler, as a staff function. HR never has taken the line role. In the sense, HR will never be able to motivate somebody unless the manager is doing that. It's a manager's role, the leader's role. In today's companies, the most modern companies, HR basically provides tools and methodologies for the manager to do it. HR is not doing anything at all in the modern companies, right? So what I want to say is, we need to take it with a pinch of salt. I agree.
No, that's fine. See, Dinakar, now when the CEO is trying to execute things, he needs a lieutenant, he needs an executive. Now he's so busy building on his idea and building a business. Where will he find time to find that one person?
Building business is building people, Sagar. That is the whole crux of the business. Getting the people, getting the right people on board, coaching the people, training the people. That's the whole essence of business. That's the whole essence of startup.
Sagar, एक बात बोलूं? I'll interrupt. Sorry to interrupt in between both of you, sir. A wonderful discussion going on, but I have to interrupt. I think the startup is basically an MBBS. I call the startup as an MBBS. मियाँ बीवी बच्चे सहित सभी काम करना पड़ेगा मिलके for its growth in a lighter vein.
Good. So let's move to the next slide. I think so.
Archana, just a moment. Hisham is another HR head of a company. He has worked in the space of both startups as well as established. He has written in a chat. Hisham, is it possible for you to unmute and please speak out? Hisham, are you there? No, Hisham.
Sorry. Am I audible?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. So the discussion is pretty interesting, but somewhere down the line, we are just being biased by our own perception and trying to roll with the ideas. But when we look at it at a broader picture, both the point of view are perfectly fine, but ultimately the onus of motivating the employee falls on the founder. So my point on the chat was that in the initial stage of the business, the structure or HR department is not required because each and everyone has to wear multiple hats and do things to get things done. But at the same time, when the company is scaling up, it is not possible for us to function in the same way, because when you are doing that, it creates chaos and multiple things hit the business if this chaos is continued. For example, a particular task would be done by a person and another person will be doing the same thing without any clarity of what he is doing. So ultimately, whatever is being discussed in terms of the structure, the strategic process, and all those things, it comes into play only at the later point in time when the company is scaling up, to ensure that the company is functioning as a cohesive unit. So that's my point. And coming to losing the spirit of the company or the entrepreneur, it ultimately boils down on the business owner to imbibe that proper structure, and everyone falls into that culture. So losing the motivation or losing the spirit, it doesn't go away unless the founder takes off his leg off the accelerator. Even in the recent interview that I have been doing, I interviewed with a company where there were 400 employees, but the founder himself, both the CTO and CEO, interviewed me because they wanted a person who will fit the culture. So that's where I say that it matters.
Okay, yeah. Thanks, Isha. Thanks for adding points over there. Yes, Archana, back to you. Please proceed.
Yes, no, definitely. I respect everybody's point of view. But yes, it is like all size does not fit, right? So it's each company is different. But at the end of the day, what really works for your organization, I think so that should be in the forefront. Yeah, we'll take the next slide.
Vineet, could you please go to the slide mode again? I think you've come out of the slide mode. Yes, you would want to go to the next slide, Archana?
Yes. So we talked about the present situation. We talked about what's imperative, and definitely we had some healthy discussion. We had point of view, and it's a learning for all of us. What drives for each organization. Now, what I see for the future for entrepreneurs is certain things that I have listed out, and I think so that has come in our discussion also, that to handle expectations better. So what even Dinakar sir was talking about, what is the expectation of an organization? What is the purpose? What is the passion? So if that is spelled out very clearly, I think so then it is just an applaud. Whether you work for 14 hours or you work for 80 hours, 18 hours a day, then that becomes irrespective. I think so. What is important is you are putting the expectation clear. And what I agree with Dinakar sir is that you are creating that passion or that culture where everyone is working in the same direction, and everybody is passionate. Everybody wants to put that extra hours, whether it's a Saturday or a Sunday. So I think so. If that is coming from the promoter and everyone in the organization is having the same vision, the same value system, I think so nothing more is required. I mean, so then the organization and the company is definitely going to flourish, because there are consulting work that we are doing where the vision is missing between the hierarchies, between the departments within the company. So what Dinakar sir has said, if that is achievable, I think so that will be an ideal situation for all startups and for all entrepreneurs. To become more people focused and employee centric was my point of view when Mr. Dinakar was talking about, and we all were talking about. People focused, employee centric. Today we are talking about mental well-being. We are talking about fatigue. We are talking about depression. We are talking about loneliness. We are talking about work-life balance. So if all this needs to be addressed, then somewhere the promoter has to be employee centric or have to be people focused, because we need to have that open dialogue. I work for 14 hours, I work for 8 hours. I am happy if that open discussions are happening more often, that you are doing this by passion, you're doing it by will. I think so then it is more healthy environment within the organization. Hybrid culture, I wanted to bring it up because we are seeing that many organizations are having hybrid models. Many people who are coming on board, and especially talking about the Y, Z, and the Alpha generation, they are preferring to have hybrid models. There are positions or JDs that we are working which purely say work from home. There are many students who come to us where they are talking about that we would like to take up assignments which are work from home permanently. So that kind of situations we are seeing when we are working with entrepreneurs and mid-sized companies. Speed, agility, I think so we are all aware. Dinakar sir did talk about the speed, that something has to be delivered in 48 hours. So I agree with it. Speed is the must. Diversity and inclusion is a very large topic, but yes, we have seen organization, we have been reading about organization which are promoting these kind of diversity and inclusion within the organization. Global standards, I think so. This forum itself is a global forum where people are traveling, and we have people all around the world. So we need not talk about it. Experiential learning and agile performance management is something which I feel is the future, where uh, just PPTs and something written on the vision board will not really help. If we can have some real-time experiences, real case studies, where the employer is showing the path, we are creating more leaders within an organization. There's more delegation. There is 360-degree appraisal. There's an open door policy. Uh, uh, you know, Exit interviews are taken a lot more serious, I think so. It would be a absolutely great space to work. And competitive landscape scanning and planning, I think so. With AI, with technology, with so many products, unicorns, people are looking at services and products by a click of a button. I think so. Competition is immense. We are in the VUCA world, we are in the Bani world. So I think so. There is no end to competition, but I guess there is space for all of us. Everyone is important, everyone is doing well. What really boils down, if I want to put HR in this session, if I want to just take away one thing, so one thing and what I want to leave for everyone is, what is the value that you bring in to this organization, to the community at large? I think so that will really matter a lot. So we talked about purpose of an organization. Can we also look at purpose of ourselves and for our family, and also what is the purpose of your own product and services to the community, or to the generation at large, to the country at large, to the global level at large? I've not talked about sustainability, I've not talked about environment, climate change. There's a lot HR wear on their cap and on their shoulder. There are a lot of other topics, but we can't take up so much in this limited time. But for me, the purpose has to be beyond individual, beyond designation, beyond the company. I think so. We need more entrepreneurs. We need more leaders who want to make humanity to be served, to make the earth and this universe a better place to live for the generations to come. So this is what I wanted to bring through this forum, and I said yes, I want to take it up. And somewhere our emotional intelligence and spiritual, very important, spiritual intelligence should also be one of the priorities in the board meetings now, and not pure play HR and whatever we talked about, because somewhere we are not on the same line. Somewhere we are getting diverted to the technology life and digital connect and AI and things like that. That is not the path which will actually take you to the purpose why you are here actually. So I think so HR, entrepreneurs, promoters have to look at actual human connect, actual spiritual connect, actual emotional connect, which will really help all of us unite together, and we have more in-person meetings, more emotional connects than these kind of webinars, which is with due respect, but somewhere we need to also move out of this space and have more physical connect and more human connect.
Yes, Archana, we do monthly meetup, physical meetups. We also meet up regularly, at least Bangalore and Karnataka SIT members, we meet up. I have no idea much about Pune and Mumbai. Archana, see, Abhishek and Joshi has asked one question. Abhishek, would you want to ask that question or you want me to read out?
Yeah, we can take some questions. and
Okay,
have some
so what
discussion.
Abhishek asked is
Yeah.
hybrid culture for startups. Is it really worth for startups? How do you share the passion to move, to innovate, incubate ideas and products? I feel it's dangerous for startups. So that's what Abhishek is telling. Abhishek, would you want to come on video or unmute yourself to further have a discussion? Archana shall take that question.
No, it's actually a very important question, very relevant
Yeah,
question.
there Abhishek is there. Yes, Abhishek, we can
Yes.
see you.
Yes, absolutely. No,
Yeah.
I definitely. Hi, Abhishek. I'm so glad that you brought this up. Um, this is definitely an important question, but I think so. We will have to understand the company, understand the product, understand the culture. Uh, just a generic answer may not be very valid for your question, but it depends upon where your company is, what is the vision, uh, what targets or what goals you are driving at. If it is feasible and if it is need of the hour, then you may have to. But if there are any other solution other than hybrid, I think so. One of the suggestion or one of the points that Sagar brought up was why not outsource it to HR consultant or HR partners. So I think so. If there is a solution, one must look at. But hybrid model is definitely picking up. I mean, say I'm seeing it very, very often. And also sometimes why hybrid is also coming in the picture is also keeping the budget in mind. Because today, if I look at an MBA or I'm looking at getting people from the top B school or from an IIT, you may not have the budget. And in fact, if you read today's Economic Times, I don't have the data with me. I can pull up the paper if I want to, if we want to discuss that. But we have seen a lot of HR moving out of organization within a year. We are talking about all the CXO. So the maximum churning of CXOs are happening because of salary. And yesterday's Economic Time talks about where there has been a mutual handshake of people leaving organization where an 18 to 20 months notice period is given because of high salary of people at the CXO level. So I think so these are very sensitive, very important topics, but there is no direct answer to this, Abhishek, right now with me.
No, I just had a question. When you say hybrid culture, is it the hybrid way of working, or what is hybrid culture actually?
Yeah, Abhishek, you can throw some light. For me, it was more about hybrid
What?
working style.
Yeah, office. I mean, weekly you come 2 or 3 days to office. 2 days you work from anywhere or home.
Is
That
that what
is
you
That's
meant?
what my understanding is.
Is that what
yes.
you meant, Abhishek? That means
Yes,
work from
yes,
home and work from office. Okay.
Yes,
yes.
absolutely. So, as I mentioned to you, it is company to company, it is entrepreneur to entrepreneur. If it is possible, yes. In fact, the other discussion and the other side of it is there are many generations and many individuals who don't prefer micromanagement. So
Yeah.
if you are
I
in a
mean, one
hybrid
thing.
model and if there is a
Uh,
micromanagement, again, that is not appreciated. So your working style, your leadership style will also play a very important role. And somewhere that's another reason why HR is very important to handle these kind of situations and draft those
but
kind of
Archana,
policies.
the whole what I have a feeling is that whole purpose of having a startup and hiring new people within that startup is to incubate the basic idea and bring it to life. And when people work from home, let's say 3 days or 4 days a week, then this team spirit, the ideas exchange, the brainstorming, resolving the challenges together and celebrating it together, these things in a startup is not going to happen. So the motivation, the boost, the passion gets dissolved with time. Everybody is feeling that monotonicity.
because they are working from home.
Yes,
But when they are into a sustenance phase, when the product is launched, the life cycle is there, and there is a sustenance, then it makes sense to have a hybrid culture. It is possible based on the
yes,
business scenario, but initially it is really dangerous to have that.
yes, absolutely. I agree. And that is the reason I said it is all depending on the company, the vision, the goal, the targets that you have. Accordingly, only you can take those decisions. It cannot
But
be a
how the new
generic answer.
generation, as you mentioned, like new generations,
Yes,
Generation Y, Z,
yes.
Alpha, these generations, when they come to startups and they prefer hybrid, how the startups manage to accommodate this expectation versus the need of the startup?
In fact, I have been interacting with a lot of entrepreneurs, startups, or co-founded companies where I have seen 3 to 4 friends who have been in school together, in college together, who have come up and started their organization, where the entire team is less than 25 years of age or less than 28 years of age, right? Uh, all of them are working in that mode. So there are today companies, organizations, which I have seen specifically, I have seen more of these people who are in the digital marketing space, in the advertising agency space. They have their own PR agencies. So there are some industries, some sectors where the entire team is working in a hybrid model, but they are doing phenomenally well. So there are companies also in that space.
So maybe if I can just add a small sentence, Archana. See, I
Yeah,
think it all depends not on the company, but depends on the phase of the company. If the company already has a MVP is minimum viable product.
right,
And after that, they already have a PMF, which is product market fit.
right.
Then you are only trying to make sure that you are delivering to whatever the market needs. And in that case, to work remotely is not a problem. Like what you mentioned now. In digital marketing, there is no MVP, there is nothing. They already have that.
Yes,
They have a customer, so they do work.
yes,
Whereas in a case what Abhishek is talking about, where the product
yes,
still is not fully developed, their hybrid mode is really dangerous. It's not going to
yes,
work out.
absolutely, absolutely,
It's the stage
absolutely.
of the company. See, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Do we have any other questions?
Yeah, so I had a question since nobody have raised the hand.
Yeah,
See,
sure.
Yeah.
Archana, this is something which I keep asking any HR person. I am a mentor. I mentor companies to achieve growth. So I will work with small companies, large companies, and in the MSME sector where their salaries are not very high
Right.
and they need to get good talent to work. Okay. Now, these guys, these companies, they cannot get any talent from urban areas because of the Gen Z problem. Okay, Gen
Yeah,
Z or Alpha, whatever you call it as.
yeah,
Their manpower come from rural areas.
yeah.
Okay, when they come from rural areas, there is no problem. Okay, there is no problem. Gen Z problem doesn't exist. Really doesn't exist. Now, my question to you is, us being so much in the urban area, have we really overstated this problem of Gen Z? Have we pampered them? Is it that you are so dependent on Gen Z and the Gen Z issues that I can't work, I can't come to a factory, I can't travel 1 hour by bus and things like that? That because our country is big, huge, and therefore there are people who are willing to work, right? And as long as you are able to show, recently I read in the newspaper that the rent in Whitefield has come down because nobody is paying it. Rents have come down. So is it possible that as a HR community, the entire community wakes up a little and instead of searching for candidates in the city using Naukri and whatever it is, you build up networks so that you get candidates from the rural areas.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, so
And if
that's,
you do that, Gen
yes,
Z problem doesn't exist. The problem of 14 hours doesn't exist
yes,
because they are hungry. Why is it that I am working for 14 hours? Not because I want to. When I started working, for me, every month, end of the month salary was required for me to live, for my
Right.
family to live, right?
Right.
So the dependency on whatever I was doing was extremely high. Therefore, my needs were different. Today, whomever you call as Gen Z or Gen Alpha, they don't need money to survive at all. They have got a different source wherein they can live for life without doing any job at all. So
Right.
therefore, the serious is not there. So why do you try to pamper them more and more? Instead, why can't you go to the rural areas?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That is, I think so. That is the best thing to do. And today we are definitely we are talking about Make in India. We are seeing tier 2, tier 3 cities and small town coming up. We have seen the gift city, right? So there are so many things which are happening. So everybody should get an opportunity.
No,
and we are seeing it everywhere. But
but
it
it may
is
be.
the responsibility of the leader. That's where
No, hold on. It may be happening, but whenever I go to any headhunter,
Right.
Headhunter, or let us say we call it as a recruitment consultant, a little more
Right.
different way. So any recruitment consultant, you don't get any innovative solutions like that. The only thing is you have a salary. That salary has to be paid. He comes from a large city, and then you have got problems of engagement and all that. Then there is an HR consultant who talks about doing engagement activities and giving gifts, giving carrots for that person to stay on and then continue the work. Now, why is it that the HR community can't think of that? That's the primary activity, right? To really get the talent. There is so much amount of talent in India. I don't know, maybe if Sagar wants to answer, you can also do that. Yeah. Why can't we go to the rural areas?
No,
No,
Dinakar,
absolutely.
see,
But
there is,
that
Archana,
is where when I started this session, when I said that we are looking in the present, that is where exactly what I meant, that for HR, the basic fundamentals of HR has to be set right. So this classification of urban or rural or X or Y, sometimes that's why it becomes more like a jargon. And I did mention in between as well that companies have to run irrespective of designations, irrespective of profiles. It is the skill which is important. I know of companies, and there are many companies, even the top companies in the world. I don't want to name any company or any people in this forum, but when they get the CV, they mask the name, they mask the gender, they mask the city. And I'm sure you may know by whom I'm talking about. And they have been hiring people, masking all this and hiring people. And they only target on the skills. The job description is there. They see the skill set and the person is hired. Once the person is hired, they know whether it's a male, female, from which city and all. So
That's a
there
very
are companies who are doing that. So as HR, we have to come up with these ideas. Why HR? So HR should not be only human resources. They should be actual people who can transform the way we work in the society.
No, actually, that's not a very prudent way of doing at all, in my opinion. What you explained to me is not at all the prudent way to do it, because see, the primary my hiring was limited. Now, as a consultant and as an entrepreneur, and earlier in Bosch, I didn't directly go and hire anybody. We used to hire at a very young age and then groom them. And our hiring was always not for skill, but for the value system. And we built the skill inside. And if you look at the great companies in the world where their service, one example is Taj, where the hiring is done in the school, not in the college at all. They hire kids in the school and then they're sponsored to study their graduation, then they get into Taj. So the concept of hiring for skill is absolutely foolish in my opinion, because that doesn't give you any result at all. You may be getting somebody who has a huge integrity problem. You may be getting somebody who doesn't want to work at all, but he may be telling that he's skilled. And 90% of the cases when you see that skill, by the time the guy gets in and starts working, you realize that the fellow is only 10% competent. When we have hired for the skill, I'm talking from experience.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So if you're talking about,
in fact, we should have more Dinkars in our country and in our forum.
Now, if you are
I
talking
hope
about,
we can replicate that.
Now, value system, if you get somebody who is
exactly the problem. That is
if
exactly the problem.
If you are interested
if you are going to look at the initial conversation, what I had said, Dinakar says about 14 hours, 18 hours. Amar says I've been doing that, and we've got the young man Ajit Kaikini over there who continuously works for 24 hours.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
how many Amars, how many Dinakars are there? You have got Sagars who want to do what Dinakar want to do in 14 hours. I want to just do in 8 hours, and remaining 4 hours, I just want to enjoy the other part of life. Now, that is going to be there. Dinakar, to answer your question, what is that? Why are we not hiring from the tier 2 rural these things? Dinakar, now there is this problem, not just I mean, when it is about value systems, right? That is what, as a third person's angle, you're talking about. But today the owners over there do not have this cognizance to this level that it is okay for me to train them for skills. Let me hire for the value systems. Let me hire them for attitude. That is one gap over there. The other point is, right from the basics of communication to understanding of an industry, there is a huge gap in kids who are studying in these rural engineering colleges, rural graduation colleges, or even the ITI. Now, these are the kids definitely who today, when I see in my client space, who are working for 10 hours without a oof. Okay, that those are the kids who are really working. I can see that. But they coming to work, for example, because I am in manufacturing companies, they coming to manufacturing companies is a challenge. They better go, they want to drive a cab, they are okay to be in a mall, they are okay to man their own some eateries. This is what they are doing. And there, I mean, what you say as an idea is right, but there is huge gap there in availability.
No, I don't think so, Sagar. I don't think so. Because at least whatever companies I see, they have got people, we are recruiting people. Only thing is, we have to change the strategy. We say that, look, we don't need the best of the best. We need people for who are good in terms of value system, and then we groom them. And definitely the investment for training will be a little on the higher side. What you're talking about, the understanding of the company culture, etc., will become more a challenge when you're doing body shopping. See, again, that could be the reason. Maybe that's the enlightenment which I have got today. Most of the companies possibly in India are doing body shopping. Therefore, for body shopping, you cannot get a rural guy to go do the work in a body shopping company. Whereas if it's a product company, he can come and work because he's not going to be exposed to anybody. He's sitting inside. See, another friend of mine runs a company here, and he had a startup called as U Plus, I think U Plus,
U plus
where
in Banashankari.
where they were
Video
trying
analysis.
to do a kind of using AI to mine to mine all the YouTube videos and find out what sentiments are being spoken about a particular product. There, most of their software designers, developers, those guys can't even speak correctly. Okay, half of them are all having some kind of a different ability, right? Somebody cannot walk correctly, somebody cannot speak correctly, they stammer, but the guys are outstanding, really brilliant guys. And those guys don't get a job also because they're not that flamboyant to be presented to a customer as a body shop.
Yes,
You know?
and
that could be the
discussed this
reason
point.
also. I don't know.
Yes,
That could be the reason.
absolutely. We discussed that now the future of HR has to be diversity and inclusion.
Correct.
That was one of the point that we discussed about. So as
Okay,
future
unless
HR leaders, I think so we should have the points that Mr. Dinakar has talked about. So the generation XYZ is going to be the HR, the next HR. They are going to be the leaders. So definitely then they have to come up with different strategies, different policies, what we discussed in the slide. The policies have to change, the processes have to change, the vision have to stay, the value system has to change. So once that change happens, the change has to happen from the mindset. So what Dinakar sir is talking about, it's a mindset. So mindset changes, I think so everything will change. And
Yeah,
that's the reason we don't need borders.
Yeah, so my only question to Sagar is, see, you're also in the HR space, Sagar. Is it possible to get the other HRs in our SIT group itself together and to see if you guys can come up with some kind of a model wherein you can get us all the companies in the SIT group, great talent at affordable cost with outstanding values from either the rural area or from the tier 3 cities or whatever it is. Think of a model. Because there are people in India who want job, desperate to get a job. At the same time, there are people who are not wanting to work 8 hours, 6 hours is the problem. You know,
I don't want to work. I don't want to work 10 hours. I don't want to work 8 hours.
No, if you like what you're doing, you'll work 20 hours also. You believe me. There is no doubt at all
No,
in that.
this is what the present generation is telling. It is okay for me to get a lesser salary. The
No, that
see
is because their salary is
that
not
is
a
it.
problem
That
for
is,
them.
you already answered that question, because
Yeah.
the basics of my life is already met. I just want to do something that I'm liking. The remaining 2 or 4 hours, I just want to go explore something. I want to
So
fail in
can you
something.
guys do that as a group, as a HR group? At least get Archana, and last week also there was one more lady, right? Rashmi, I think. Rashmi or
Rashmi Utnal,
Ramya or Rashmi.
Rashmi Utnal.
So if you can get some 3-4 people, and also earlier there were some people in Sit Chat who came from HR space.
See,
You
we've
know,
got Manish here who is working on that space of interviews. Okay, I mean,
uh,
he's trying to work with technology and technology for IT hiring. There are quite a lot. Initially, in fact, Dinakar, around 8 months or 1 year ago, this effort of getting all the HRs together and trying to do something, that effort did take place. However, there was a little traction issue and things didn't go up.
and then when we
Anyway,
were in Pune last week, I had a
mm,
HR sit meet there in Pune. And then
mm,
when we were discussing over dinner, an idea came up. See, there is this NSDC QPNOS, which describes the job
skills,
for close to
skill
about
sets.
3,500, 3,600 jobs in India. Are you aware of that, Archana? NSDC skill portal, it's a
Yes,
National
yes,
Skill
skill
Development
portal. Yes, yes,
Corporation.
absolutely. Oh,
Uh,
yes. Oh,
uh,
yes.
they have created sector skill councils, and then each sector skill council has identified all the job roles in their sector, and then done a detailed job description. And then there are NSDC training centers who train students to get qualified to those jobs. Okay.
Yes, I'm aware. Yes, yes, absolutely. No, we
So
can definitely, Sagar, if there's anything that as a HR fraternity, if we can come together, why not? In fact, for me, when I get any mandate for hiring, I see that I go everywhere. In fact, I have seen a lot of talent which I have interviewed and have presented to my clients when we were doing digital marketing and content creator CVs. When we were looking at, I had shortlisted a lot of people from
Hmm.
Ludhiana, from Bihar, very remote places in Punjab, where they were just a small family, running out of the terrace. One of my candidate was doing interviews from the terrace, and I had shortlisted him. So wherever I, as an individual, as a consultant, get an opportunity, as Dinakar said, that value system definitely plays a very important role. If you have the right value system, if you have the right vision, the purpose, I think so, then it is irrespective of gender and irrespective from where you come from, the job needs to be done. And this, Sagar, that you are talking about, this 8 hours and 12 hours and 14 hours, being a trainer, I'm a trainer. I do a lot of programs where I talk about time management audit. This time management audit is also a very hype thing. I mean, so what is it that requires 8 hours? I know of tasks which can be done in half an hour and 1 hour. And there are people who are doing the same task, the same assignment in 4 hours. So somewhere our competencies of doing a particular task, doing our assignments is not the right way. And that is the reason why many people around the world are putting that many hours. It is not actually required. And
Correct.
when we deep dive and when we do our due diligence, there are many areas where you can actually reduce the work time of the people. And we've been talking about in Japan, in China, 4 days a week, 3 days a week, hybrid models and all that. The reason is that you're not effectively managing your energy levels. You cannot get up at 7 or 8 in the morning and you say you want to be highly productive and you say that you're working till 2 in the night. I mean, see, that is not how our human body is made. Like even now we are talking at 9:30. Ideally, these kind of strategy meetings and discussions and brainstorming should happen first thing in the morning. It should happen at 8:30 in the morning. As per Ayurveda clock, we should be up and running at 4. And this generation, many of them are sleeping at 4. So how can you have productivity of what we are looking at, and we have to work for 14 hours and 18 hours? because your main energy focus, which has to be there till 3 o'clock, is not happening. You actually start your day at 3 o'clock. So this discussions, I think so, is endless, but we are not getting the basic fundamental right as a human body. HR is human body. We are not functioning as per human body. If we look at the Vedas, the Ayurveda, the spiritual way of looking, getting up and working, if we just get that fundamental right, all these discussions will not even happen.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. So good, Sagar.
Okay,
I think
well,
so. We had a
thank
good
you,
discussion.
Archana. This
Yeah.
yes. With that, we unless until we have something very interesting question or important question, I want to draw curtains. And before drawing curtains, as a ritual, I hand it over to Amarji for his closing remarks. And it was an awesome discussion, Archana. Very fruitful one. Thank you for gracing today's meeting.
Yes, and
Amarji,
I
over to
enjoyed
you.
so much and I learned so much from this group. And let's continue this and let's bring a wave. Let's change things. Let's
Sagar, if
change
it is okay,
mindset.
before Amar, can we give a chance to Ajit? He has listened to,
Yes, Ajit ji.
his wise words could be equally enlightening to us. And
what
then
I do
Amar.
is, see, there are 5 elements which make us. So I've seen one thing. People today are hired for the qualifications rather than the qualities. The qualities emanate because of a panchadhatu.
Yes.
I have to understand people with air more are more creative.
Yes.
People with fire more are leadership qualities. People with water more, like Dinakar, will have basic organizing skills powered by leadership. See, all this without understanding, we go by qualification.
Yes.
First understanding is, what is that quality in me which is higher? Now I'm working on a company and started analyzing like this, that HR got a shock. They don't even know anything of this.
Yes.
They go by what is written on paper, and a person who has achieved in A company can be a big zero in the B company. So unfortunately, we go by the past rather than what work is here. As beautifully put by Dinakarji, do I have involvement in my heart, interest in my head? That will result into inspired actions from the hand. This H, if they are not aligned by an HR, believe me, this is not known by many people. Involvement in the heart, which comes only when the genius in us, the genie in us, which is my genius. How do I find that? There are 9 intelligences. Do I know the intelligence of the person? Without knowing the intelligence of the person, I hire him because of the marks. Marks can come because of memory, not because of intelligence. The very unfortunate thing is our whole selection process is wrong. We go by what is defined by society and not designed by divinity. The two things are not matching.
Yes.
So if we are able to do these 3 things, heart, head, hand matches, who cannot work? See, all these definitions, no, by physically we cannot do, anatomically we cannot do. No, 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 no. The physical thing is unlimited. However tired you are, if a tiger runs after you, your speed will increase more, your running will be faster. That is the capacity. Our energy is funnel type. The first level is physical, next is mental, third is existential. Please understand, my dear friends, we go by the science books which have got nothing to do. I asked the science people, same thing the HR were telling, not possible physically. I said, look here, the glass bottle in my room will be the room temperature. In UK, it will be 15 degrees. In Northern Hemisphere, it will be ice. Then why your body is same, man? Because we are different. Man Ushya means clay pot. जिस उष्या में एक मन है वो मनुष्य है. All this are not known, and we go by what is taught by science, but there is something beyond science. The day you are able to go beyond science, you'll stop talking about not possible by people.
Yes.
My dear friends, as rightly pointed out, nowadays from 22 staff, I'm only 2. I'm working. My sleep has come to 5 hours, and I'm unhappy that I can't attend these classes. Last 2 classes I missed. But today I cancelled all my individual classes because this gives me power.
Yes.
This class gives me power.
Power.
It makes me think deeper. I'm sorry, but I'm telling my views. But
No, sir, absolutely.
No,
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 you
absolutely
really
correct.
brought it up. When I was talking about spiritual intelligence and when I was talking about emotional intelligence, this is exactly what I meant. But you have actually put it really very nicely, and I have made a note of it. Head, heart, and hand. So next time when I'm having a session, I will use this words of yours.
Archana ji, please understand. If an iron rod, ions are aligned, it becomes a magnet.
Right.
If these three things are aligned in a human being, they become magnetic.
Absolutely.
Please understand this.
Absolutely. That's the reason why we need spiritual intelligence and emotional intelligence and cultural intelligence first, and then rest of the things will follow. Once we know the science of our body, this all what we discuss is not required.
And Archana, like Dinakar said,
yes.
Character is that electricity which aligns all this. Character.
Yes, absolutely. But unfortunately, it cannot be built up. It cannot be learned. It's something inbuilt which comes from the genes.
1 minute. No. If Modi can come and make people who are not working work, my dear friends, please understand. Be a leader like the sun. When the sun rises, the birds feel like singing, the flowers feel like opening. Can you become such a leader? Then magic happens.
Yes. That's why we need leaders. That's why I said we need many Dinakar sir like Dinakar sir. So if we have more people, we can definitely attract.
Unfortunately, I've been trying to take Dinakar sir somewhere. Things are not materializing. The day these two people meet, I know this company will change.
It will all happen, sir. It will happen.
Kala. I believe in time.
Sir, Sir, today's discussion has brought up somewhere, na, sir?
Yeah.
So it will definitely happen. And Sagar and I'll see what best we can do from here now. Right, Sagar?
No, and Sagar, if you can get 5, very different thinkers from HR, believe me, we can tap into a lot of resources. And people should be very open-minded. Nobody should listen through their ego. Listen through the reality rather than actuality. And then you see what wonderful things we can come out with.
See, there was one request from one of my MSME friends to talk about how to retain people in MSME, right? Yes. And maybe we can organize a kind of a panel discussion with Archana, with Rashmi, with Ajit, with Amar, Sagar, to really talk about, it's all about establishing that emotional connect, establishing the emotional connect, and then being part of the passion. That's all is required. If that is done, then people will stay, irrespective of the salary, irrespective of what number of working hours.
Dinakar, let me tell you, this nonsense of having outside eating and all that is nonsense. It doesn't work. Nowhere it has worked. Take people out for lunch and dinner, and it doesn't work in the long run.
See, in total environment, Archana, I don't know whether that is going to be common nowadays, where I was working, there were months when the salary has been paid 4 months after, 4 months late. Okay. Salary paid 4 months late. That means delay because the cash is not there. So you don't pay salary for 4 months. Attrition level in total environment is about 2%. That's all.
I have worked in that environment, sir. Myself, I've gone through it, sir.
So it's all about that connect. That kind of a commitment connect is what that is important.
Yes.
So I think we have to go exceeding too much. Amarji, आप भी सोना चाहिए. So
I'm sorry. I took a lot of your time.
No, not at all, sir. Not at all, sir. This what do you say? Discussion was important. It was imperative. We must have these kind of discussion. We leave it to Sagar now. Sagar, how we want to take this discussion forward, and we should not break this link. Let it continue.
Yeah, Amarji.
And have more learning and point of views.
Time we wind off the meeting. Amarji,
yes.
Yeah. Good evening, Archana ji.
Yes.
I cannot stop when Ajit sir speaks. Ajit sir absolutely spoke his heart, what I want to tell. but definitely I think so the emotional connect between the employee and the employer should be there. They should have a purposeful focus on what they want to grow with. And they should have in mind that they need to attain the goals. They should have a hunger to grow. Any HR you build, as Ajit sir, you put the best brain, it doesn't work sometimes because they go by the paperwork. You should have that emotional connect today. I think so. You shared a wonderful thought process today, and it's a great learning. As Ajit sir, that we don't miss this class. We keep learning every day from every new person who comes on this chat. So I think so. I professionally learn a lot of things when I come to this class every time. I just make notes of what I learned today, and I carry it on forward with my day-to-day activities. And I wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. It was a great learning for me as well.
Thank you.
Yes, it was.
Sagar, will you take the snapshot or shall I take the snapshot of everybody? Those who are on the line, if you want to open the cameras, Abhishek is there. Yeah. Anybody else wants to switch on your cameras?
I can see Madhusudan as well. Madhusudan is also here.
Where is Sagar?
I don't know. Sagar is not is missing. Abhishek, are you connected with Archana?
My camera isn't working.
अभी तक तो काम कर रहा था भाई.
You want me to connect you with Archana? Give her numbers. See, Abhishek is somebody who has just now started a new factory, new plant in Pune.
Oh, great. Congratulations.
So he wants to build a new culture, build that kind of a world-class culture and all that, right? A lot of aspirations. So I had connected Sagar to him, and maybe I can connect you also to him and then see what comes out of that.
Sure, sir.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, super. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, and good
Yeah.
night.
Thank you.
Okay,
Good night,
bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Take care. Let's be in
Good night.
touch.